Alright, welcome back to Project Seawolf. It was 29 degrees Fahrenheit this morning, so things were a little bit frozen. I took the epoxy off so it wouldn't freeze, so the epoxy's still good. And I've gotten this area ready. Got all the tools ready to go. So today we're going to be working on the chain plate pads. So when I bought this boat, the chain plates were in really bad shape. I had to cut them out of the fiberglass hull, which they were glassed in. They didn't use stainless throughout the chain plate, so it was the rust had bulged out the fiberglass and made a big mess in there. So I cleaned that out quite a while ago, and now we're finally going to get to starting to lay on some fiberglass. So what we're going to start out doing is we're going to sand this down, make it really nice and ready to accept some new glass, and then we're going to alternate chop strand and biaxial roving up and build it up quite a ways so that I can do through bolted bronze chain plates when we're able to do that. So how I usually like to work on these types of projects is I like to do one really slowly and thoroughly, and then I go and do the rest, which was the case with cutting out all the chain plates as well. So today will be the day that we start this chain plate pad. You don't want to be applying epoxy in the cold, so we got the heater going. Right now it's at 51. I'm going to let it get up to about 55, maybe 60 before I start using epoxy, but that gives us time to start sanding things down. Yeah, so now there's not any sharp edges, which could create pockets in the fiberglass or epoxy. So I'm going to coat this wall with epoxy, the whole work area, and then we're going to start laying on layers of fiberglass, starting with chop strand. So while I'm working on this, there's really two things in my mind: adhesion and cohesion. Adhesion is coming from the chop strand, from the hull to the chop strand to the biaxial to the chop strand to the biaxial to the chop strand to the biaxial. So really the chop strand is the adhesion layer. So I want this to be the start, and I can also plan it so that these slightly more raised areas are going to even out. So I'm going to cut out this mat to help build up this first layer, and then when we get past these lumps, then we don't have to worry about them so much anymore. What I really want is for the biaxial roving to be in one continuous mat, because when it's bolted through, I want the pulling pressure from the mast to be transferred to the mat, which will be pressed against the top, the deck seam, which will be more reinforced with all this fiberglass against it. And it'll be just as wide as the whole chain plate bars, really. And these lumps will also help keep the mat in place, I think, I hope. Because the fiberglass is going to be in about the same shape as the old chain plates. But then there is also going to be the backing plate, which will hold the external chain plate on. But I'm just thinking about this from an engineering perspective, from like the transfer forces and everything. For this project, we're breaking out the nice stuff. Just a total boat with slow hardener. That'll give me time to build up the mat. This was very kindly gifted to me by my mother and father-in-law, Rick and Sally, for my birthday, which is in a couple days. So thank you, Rick and Sally, for the epoxy. Alright, I measured out 10 by 15 rectangles, so 15 across, 10 up, and that matches up with the size of the pad. So this pad will be brought out 6 layers of fiberglass thick. So chop strand, biaxial, chop strand, biaxial, chop strand, biaxial. 6 layers of fiberglass thick. Oh my goodness. Plus whatever's through the hull, which still feels like there's quite a bit of hull on the other side of here. I don't really want to drill down I don't really want to take any more material away. I like this layer of chop that they have in here that I got to, and I've taken out pretty much all the rust that was embedded in there. So I think this is a good place to start laying on the glass. And if it does delaminate in the future, hopefully the pressing of the chain plate, like the compression of the chain plate, will keep it close to here, and even if it completely delaminates and slips up, it will be stopped by the deck seam. So hopefully that never happens, but if it does, then it's not all is lost. All right, so we have the first layer of chop strand epoxied in. I was kind of doing the epoxy, and I think the GoPro might have crapped out, which it does in cold weather. So hopefully hopefully changing out the battery helped. But we've got the first layer of chop strand all epoxied in there. I'm gonna add a little bit more epoxy to some areas that I think are gonna need it, like right here and here and here, just to make sure everything is super soaked in. And then we're gonna apply that, and we're gonna start layering on. All right, it's all rolled out and pressed in, and oh man, that looks so nice. Yeah, I mean, it is almost completely flat, which is awesome. It does contour a little bit with the hull, which is great. The edges look clean and well adhered, and I know the centers are all adhered to each other. So, oh, fantastic. Really happy with the way that turned out. This has been a job that I've been putting off a little bit for sure. And it really needs to be done, and it's going to be one of the biggest steps to getting the mast back on the boat. Of course, there's still the bowsprit issue. I'll build that out in the garage or the shed on one of these episodes coming up. That is the biggest chain plate on the boat, and it's going to require some exterior work to put it back on, so probably won't do that until spring. But for now, we can get these ones inside done, and that'll be a big step to getting the new chain plates on. So we've been doing pretty well on the channel, and I want to do another t-shirt giveaway, so make sure to leave a comment and subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode where we'll announce the winner. So to enter, just like and leave a comment on this video, and I'll add you to the little spinner, and we'll spin and select a winner for a t-shirt, and I'll send it out to you. We'll spin a couple of times because not every time people respond. So if you win and you respond, then I'll send you a shirt, and yeah, so that'll be pretty fun. I know it's a little bit of a short episode, but thanks for watching. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting me. It really does help a lot to get the epoxy and the fiberglass, and ultimately get this boat back in the water. Check out the Patreon if you want to support the channel, and I'll see you next time. Cleaning the epoxy off my camera. It really is not a great environment for the GoPro, because when it's cold out, the GoPro doesn't want to work, which is probably why I will switch to DJI action camera in the future. I know they work in the winter and in cold water and all that, so not that that's going to be a problem on most of this channel since we're going to be in the tropics most of the time, but yeah, it's making filming in the winter very difficult, and I would like it to not be difficult, because the less difficult it is to film, the easier it is for me to get boat work done, and the faster we can get this boat back in the water and get some real good content on this channel. You know what? Maybe it's not the end of the episode. Maybe I'll take you guys to the to our birthday party. Well, my birthday party. Hope that turns out to be a fun night. All right, we got foosball.
Amazing. Like you can, yeah, so this is just a
So this is a really old historical home, like 130 years old. We're just living here for now, renting it while we're in med school. So yeah, it's a really fun house to be in and throw parties in. Got a photo booth, the Polaroid camera, taking Polaroids with everybody who's coming. Oh, sun!
Sleeping in my car.
We got Smash Bros.
So I can go on a boat.
Hey-ya! Whoa. Usually I don't throw a big party for my birthday. I mean, this is the first birthday party I've had in years. But yeah, with kids and everything, I just wanted to celebrate and bring a bunch of friends together, and it's been really fun. So thanks for coming along.
Oh, I forgot.
Lauren!